I feel very good. I have a lot of good memories in this country, so I'm excited for tomorrow.
Jakob?
I'm also excited.
Back in what?
We're looking very much forward to the big challenge that are ahead of us tomorrow. We know it requires something extraordinary, so we need to make an extraordinary performance if we want to take something with us back to Helsinki, Finland. So we are prepared for that. Hopefully we are prepared. We know it will be tough. We know we will have to suffer. We know we will have to defend. But we are also going to take up the challenge to try to create something and make a good performance on the ball as well, because that's required if we want to keep the hope alive, the hope of the playoff. We are, as long as I said earlier in interviews, as long as we are fighting and we are not out of that position or spot, then we will keep fighting and we will hang in there as long as possible, and hopefully we will end up in that playoff. But and we know it requires something extraordinary, so we are very much aware of what's waiting ahead.
Okay, any questions? How about the tall journalist there? Okay, just wait for the microphone.
Sami Hyypiä from Seiskalehti. You said already that it's going to be tough tomorrow, but how you motivate and get the players to play in their own level and to be fearless? You know, you need courage tomorrow, and how you try to motivate the players that they are playing with the courage and without the fear.
Yeah, it's hopefully just by stepping into the stadium, then there is already a big portion of motivation for the players. And then I also started this camp actually by showing and telling a bit about a small story. I took the perspective of my own son, where he started playing when it was only for fun, and tried to, make it a story that ended up, the players really to appreciate where they ended by playing a game in this stadium, about points, about a playoff for the World Cup. I mean, so there are so many small things, and of course every player's different. They are, motivated about many different things. But so what I want to say is that the motivation already started in the first talk, that really appreciate where they are ended, where they are now, and really be hungry for achieving more together as a team, with the teammates, for Finland, with all the kids that were in the stadium the other night in the Olympic Stadium. They are also hungry for new idols like you had been once. So they need somebody to look up to, and if I was just a good player, I would also be motivated, trying to be a role model for somebody. So there are hundreds of reasons for me in my book to be motivated for a game like this year. So and I hope that every single player finds their own motivation wherever it is. And then one of our values is courage. So we have to, tomorrow also play with courage. So we have to at least try on the ball as well to come down here and create something.
Anybody else? Anything? Yes, please.
Hi. Oliver, if there was one thing that you could say to the Dutch team right now in Dutch, what would that be?
My Dutch is not very good. So...
Just a word?
Eat smakelijk.
Eat smakelijk?
Yeah.
On the pitch?
Yeah, I don't... That's the only sentence I know.
Bon appetit.
Yeah.
Bon appetit.
Thank you.
Interesting. It's a very interesting press conference. Any more questions, please?
And then you get
Nothing from Seiska anymore? More questions?
I want to ask something that I know that we are not going to give the Dutch team
Okay.
our secret plan.
We can talk about it after.
Anyway, any team news?
There's a question.
Yeah, sure. Ari.
Jakob, you talked about motivation and being courageous to your team. Will you also be courageous with your game plan? You've been rather defensive against bigger opponents and using 3 centre-backs, and that hasn't worked really that well. And this time, you don't have that many centre-backs in your team. Are you forced to be playing with 2 centre-backs this time?
I think there are more questions in that question. I think it worked quite well sometimes. I think I remember we won against Poland at home with a back 3. But of course, it's always a discussion. I get your point of view, but sometimes you also have to be, a bit honest, and when you're playing good opponents against Holland. So even we had the plan of maybe going a bit more high pressure against Holland last time at home. We didn't do it, but it was because the opponent was really good. So we struggled doing it. So you can sometimes have a plan full of courage and a full of positive mindset and going forward. But sometimes in the games you are just forced to suffer. But I can truly say that it's nothing that we do on purpose. But in a game like tomorrow, we will suffer in some periods, and it's also find the balance of being smart and not being naive. Because I could say we could open up the game tomorrow and we could go fully high pressure from first minute to 90th minute. But I think with my limited experience, I know what will happen when we face good opponents like this if we do that all the time. So it's about finding the balance when to do and when not to do it. So yeah, that's my answer to that part.
Thank you.
Okay, anything more?
Saanko kysyä Oliverilta suomeksi?
Kysy vaan.
Oliver, millainen paikka tämä on pelata? Sä oot ollut muistaakseni kerran aikaisemmin täällä, niin mitä tämä merkitsee pelaajalle ja millaisia muistoja sinulla on täältä?
Joo, pelasin kerran täällä Ajaxia vastaan ja itse asiassa just muistelin sitä, että mitä siinä pelissä tapahtui ja minkälainen matsi se oli, mutta siinä ei ollut hirveästi muistelemista, että mun mielestä me hävittiin se, oliko se 2-0 tai 3-0, en ole ihan varma. Saatiin punainen heti tokan puolen alussa ja näin, mutta tämä on muuten ihan mielettömän hieno stadion ja huikea fiilis. Niin, et kun Jakob puhuu siitä, että miten pystyy motivoimaan pelaajia, niin mä en usko, että hirveästi tarvii tämmöiseen peliin ja tämmöiseen paikkaan motivoida. Ainakin itsellä on jo nyt semmoinen fiilis, että toivoisin, että se peli alkaisi nyt jo. Että sen pitää tulla tämmöisiä peliä niin kuin automaattisesti.
Tuossa Liettua-ottelussa sinulta ei nähty pahemmin ohituksia, että olisit ohittanut pallon kanssa vastustajia. Mistä se mahdollisesti johtui ja uskallatko luvata, että yrität ohittaa Hollannin puolustajia?
No mä en ajattele, että mä oon semmoinen pelaaja, joka lähtee vaan, että nyt mä ohitan, vaan että mä oon semmoinen, että mä katson mikä tulee luonnostaan eteen ja siinä pelissä ei nyt hirveästi ollut semmoisia paikkoja, että lähdetään vaan ohittaa. Mutta joo, että jos tulee eteen semmoinen tilanne, niin sit lähden ohittaa.
Yeah.
Ota vähän.
Okay. You have now like 7 games with Finland, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you have seen maybe 20, 25 players or more. Who do you see are the biggest leaders in a Finnish group, in a field?
Yeah. It's also a bit, I would not say tricky question, fair question. You can be leaders in many different ways for me. It's so it also depends on what do you mean by leader, because there are, also ways to lead on the pitch. There are ways to lead outside the pitch. But I think not to talk too long and not to mention any names. I mean, there are, for me, maybe a bit mixture that we have some older players that have been here for many years that just on the nature, their personalities, with the experience, then they are, kind of leading by example. And it's there are older players like Jolle or Pukki and players like that. And then we have some of the new ones that normally have a role in the club where they are in a position, maybe taking a bit more responsibility, maybe on the pitch opening their mouth a bit more. And again, you're not just a good leader because you're talking much. You can also be a leader by showing it on the pitch, by working hard and by working by example. So we have some older ones and we have some new ones, upcomers that I can see on the personalities outside the pitch that there are also a good potential to be leaders for the future. Yeah. I'm sorry I only gave you 2 names.